And we're recording.
We are recording. Welcome to this session on Mixpanel Plans. We set this up so that you could understand your plans, understand how to leverage absolutely everything that you get inside your Mixpanel platform, and hear from the experts about it. So grab a pen and paper. No, really, this is recorded, so you can come back. But before we dive in, I want to go into a little bit of housekeeping as we usually do. So if we go, oh, I've gone too fast. Here we go. Webinars being recorded. If you have questions, please post them in the chat. We are really going to try and answer every single question live. If we do need to do a little bit of homework around your question, so if it's specific to your account or anything like that, we will reach out proactively. So I'll ask for a little bit of detail so we know who you are. But our aim here is to make sure that you are fully informed and confident. Right? We're in the business of keeping your CFOs happy. So if anything's going to change, or if there is actually a change that you should make to make things so much better, to increase the value that you're getting out of the platform, we're going to let you know right here, right now. If you are having technical difficulties, hop out, hop back in, but then also the fail safe is that this will be recorded and sent out to everybody who's in the room now, and also everybody who couldn't make it and join with us live. So, spoiler, I already spoiled this slide. My name is Jazz. I'm the community manager here at Mixpanel. You can find me on our forum, so that's community.mixpanel.com, or inside our relatively new Slack network. And my role is really around connecting you, right? Connecting you to each other, enabling you around the products, making sure that you feel just as confident as you possibly can be when engaging with your data in Mixpanel. And on that note, I'll hand you over to Ashley to introduce herself.
Hey everybody, so I'm Ashley Beauchamp, or Beauchamp, and I've been at Mixpanel for 3 years now. I am the relationship manager, and what that means is basically I just maintain, build, and flourish the relationships with our existing customers. I always answer your questions regarding your account, pricing, renewal strategies, anything regarding to your plan and growth. Thanks for coming.
Awesome. Cora.
Thanks, Jazz and Ashley. So I'm Cora. I'm also like an enterprise account executive here at Mixpanel. Been working with this amazing group of people for 3 years now. And yeah, I also help customers understand their plans, project their growth, and just, yeah, as Ashley said, flourish.
Flourish. We're flourishing here in this session. Let me know in the chat if that vibes with you. So agenda, right? Our plan for you really is by the end of this session for you to really understand Mixpanel's different plans and which one's more appropriate, right? This is not the space for, I don't know, comparing, right? Ashley and Cora will tell you organizations are at different stages, different levels of sophistication. They have different needs, right? So I want you to keep that at the forefront as you absorb this information. So we want you to find out which one is more appropriate for your use case. Also, we're going to share, and we want you to understand how to stay on track with whichever plan that you choose, and also understand who you can speak to in case you have questions, concerns, or doubts about your Mixpanel account. Like, we know when it comes to plans that sometimes you can get a couple of automated messages, or maybe you're in the room today and you have no clue what plan you're on for Mixpanel. Don't worry, we'll show you how to check that and have an understanding of it for yourself. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to have plenty of time for Q&A. Now, for the benefit of those who are listening to the recording, if you do have questions, underneath this video, there's going to be details. We're going to be putting an email address, but we're also going to be putting in details for the community Slack channel where you can go and ask questions if they come up to you later. We are always on hand to support you with that. So without further ado, that's the agenda. That's how we want to spend our time today. Let's dive into those plans.
So, Mixpanel plans. Which do I choose? Because this is not like Pokemon. You don't want them all. You just want the right one. So if we go to the next slide, sorry, I'm not paying rights for saying Pokemon on this recording, but I hope that's fine. Fantastic Four, that's how we call it. We're also not paying the rights for that branding. So I also hope that that is working for us. We have 4 plans. It's actually not 4, it's like 3 + 1. So legacy plans is like all the different plans that Mixpanel had over the story of Mixpanel, right? We have been here for over 10 years. We have been improving our plans like by listening to feedback from our customers. So we have been changing things quite a lot. So if you're on a legacy plan, that will mean that you're not on any of those other 3 plans that we have. Just reach out and we can help you like move to the right plan that we have built for you. That should be one of these other 3 that we have. The free MTU plan, the online growth plan, and then the enterprise plan. We're gonna go and explain a little bit more deeper those, but before talking about what is the difference between our pricing models, let's talk about the basics of Mixpanel. Next slide. So the basics of Mixpanel, as you know, Mixpanel is a product analytics platform, and we're built on top of events, people profiles, and MTUs. What is an event? You can see what it is. It's like written right there, so I'm not going to read it for you. But basically, that's one of the main points that we have here at Mixpanel to understand the plan that you might need or understand how your tracking will work. Then you have a user profile. Same thing, you can read it there, but it's basically all the information about your final users. And then we have what we call a monthly track user. This will be one of the most important things because it's a key differentiator in the industry for us. And a monthly track user is, this one I'm going to read, why not? A visitor that tracks at least one qualifying event in your project. So with this information, now we know the basics. Let's talk a little bit of like, okay, and then what happens when we build our Mixpanel plan? Next slide. Our Mixpanel plan is like, yeah, choose your adventure. Those books where you were selecting is going this way or going the other way. So of course you always have the basics. So the base structure of our behavioral analytics with all the different reports that you have, no matter what plan you're in, insights, funnel, retention, etc. These are reports that you're always going to have access to. Then on top of this, we also build services. So this is how you want to interact with Mixpanel and our network of partners. So you will have, of course, support, just to reach out if you have any technical questions. You will have customer success and solution architects, that this is like another kind of resource that you can hire, acquire, put in your plan. Here, we also live with our like network of partners that is like different solutions that we integrate with. And then on top of that, we have our our add-ons. That's the most exciting part. So group analytics, data pipelines, and then some more other advanced reports that Mixpanel has that depending on the plan that you are at, you have access or not. So now that we know what are the basics, now that we know how Mixpanel is built, let's go a little bit deeper into how the plans work.
Great. So our first plan that we want to talk about is the legacy plan. So obviously legacy meaning it no longer exists. We do still have a lot of customers that are on legacy plans. And the main focus really is just to kind of push them into the right plan for them, because the legacy plans are very limited, right? So they're capped on the certain amount of events and people profiles. Whereas now our new plans include unlimited people profiles, and we adapt the events or MTUs based on what your need is. So that's one of the reasons why we want to really get you away from legacy. Another reason is because it's very limited on the reports and features. So from the previous slide that Cora said, there's no group analytics, there's no data pipelines, there's none of the essential features or the extra features included, and we can't edit or add on anything on the legacy plans because they're fixed, right? So we definitely want to give you more access and more capability in order to understand your users' behavior. Like I mentioned, the no add-ons, and the most important thing is it will be deprecated soon. So we don't have a fixed date, but we're assuming sometime within the year, it's going to be deprecated. So if you think that you're on a legacy plan or you're not sure, or you just want to reach out, let us know. We will help you. We will guide you. We will show you what is the right thing for you. Okay. The next one is our free plan. So the free plan is our newest one because it's been recently updated to include everything self-serve, which means you can, no contracts needed, no signatures needed. You can just go on to the online platform. You can choose the MTUs that you want. Remember, it's only MTU based, so there's no events option on this one. It is, again, limited. I'm sorry, free plan. I was getting confused with online growth. Sorry, free plan. There's no online platform. So free plan, it is access to 100,000 MTUs. It is, again, self-serve. There's no contracts needed, no signatures needed. It's completely free. There's no hidden agenda. There's no hidden fees. If you reach the 100,000 MTU limit, we're not going to charge you overages. What it means is that you'll just be blocked from looking at your reports or viewing anything else until the following month when it's recapped or refilled. Again, there's no add-on access. So with the free plan, you cannot access data pipelines, group analytics, or any of the extra features that we have available in the online and enterprise. Limited reports and features as well. So you don't have access to flows, cohorts. You have limited save reports. You can only save 5 reports rather than unlimited, right? So there is a lot of limitations, but it's still a really good plan because this is meant for those who are just starting in the user analytics space and data analytics and understanding the user behavior. This is like a testing ground for those who want to just get familiar with how to understand their user behavior and what does a data analytic platform look like, right? This is what the main use case for this plan is. And if you're tracking, anywhere between 1,000 to 100,000 MTUs. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is the online plan, which I got confused with earlier. So online growth plan is an online platform that you can access and you can choose your MTU count by moving a toggle. Basically, it's very easy, very understandable. It has everything ready for you. Again, no signatures or contracts needed. You can choose to pay. It's a paid plan. So you can choose either monthly or annual plans, payment plans. The only thing to note there is that the annual plan includes a 30% discount. So it's actually more beneficial to choose the annual option. You do have up to 100,000 MTUs. And this one, it's important to know that if you do go over the 100,000 MTU level, you will be charged an a la carte rate. So anytime you go over any plan limit that you choose, there is an overage fee. So just make sure that you choose the right amount. But again, if you don't know, if you're not sure, that's what we're here for. We tell you what your growth is or what your predictions are, and we help you kind of establish that better. A monthly bucket. So this means, for example, if you're tracking 10,000 monthly active users, then you should probably choose 12,000 because you need to give yourself a little wiggle room. But this means that each month it's 12,000 monthly tracked users. That's what we're giving you. If you go over that limit, you're charged an a la carte rate, unless you just move the toggle up to cover that extra expense. And then if you're billing less, then that's what it is. It's back and forth, super easy, self-serve. This one, you can purchase the additional features, group analytics and data pipelines. It's on the next little page over. You just click continue and you can have the option to add group analytics or data pipelines. It's important to note that group analytics is a 40% add-on and data pipelines is a 20% add-on on top of your MTU cost. Okay, that's very important to remember. You do have support access. However, you do not have a dedicated relationship manager like myself. That's only going to be available on the enterprise plan. However, you have free support, so you can contact support at any time. And if you do need to speak to a sales rep, support will loop one of us in to have a conversation with you. And that's also free. You don't have to pay additional for that. And like I said, the MTU plan type only, because we don't provide the events tracking on this plan. It's only monthly tracked user tracking. Okay, next slide. And that is for Cora, I think. Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about enterprise. This is tailored to your needs. So based on everything that Ashley just said, this plan basically represents everything that is out there under the sunshine. So you can customize this to your needs. You can use MTUs or events. So of course, Mixpanel is always tracking events and people profiles. Of course, we are also tracking MTUs. The difference is just how we bill, how we invoice that. What is like your contract being like based on? So that's the only difference point. So we can like talk about MTUs or we can talk about events. The difference, we will talk about it a little bit later, but basically just understand that the enterprise plan is just a conversation between your rep at Mixpanel and your company to understand what is the thing that works best for you. So Your rep, that will be your dedicated point of contact, like Ashley or myself, will be your day-to-day person that you talk to about questions and not technical, those are for support. Then we talk about an annual bucket. This means that you're averaging, instead of like what Ashley was explaining of month, you look at a 12-month bucket. So this gives you flexibility as well. And then access to all the reports and features. You can also acquire all the add-ons, flexibility with pricing. We also include tiers here. What does this mean? That when you are projecting growth, because all the companies want to grow, you can build a contract that starts at a lower level and where you include the different price for the different volumes that you want to get in the next 12 to 24 months. And here we also offer different support options. So that means that depending on the level of love that you need, we can give it to you, all the love. So track all your data, collect more data, and answer more questions. That's the mojo of our enterprise plan. Now, if we go to the next slide, we're going to talk about how to stay on track. Like, what is happening with my plan? We don't know. How can we know? Well, next slide, we're going to know on our organization settings. So this is actually the main page of your organization. If you're an admin or an owner, you will have visibility of this page. And here you can see the plan details are billing, where you will be able to look at the amount of MTUs, or if you're in MTUs, or what kind of plan you're on. If you have data pipelines, group analytics, how much are you paying for those? And also data usage. So here you can keep track of your tallies, meaning out of the total amount of MTUs or events that you have, how much you have consumed. Of course, again, like just highlighting a few contacts there, you have support to reach out if you have technical questions, and you also have AR at Mixpanel for any kind of question regarding your invoice, if you need to update any kind of like billing address in your contract, etc. Those will be the accounts that you need to reach out to. Next slide.
Ooh, case studies. Yes.
Yes.
Let me walk you through an example. So next slide, please. So here we're going to talk about an example of a customer who reached out to me because they were on a legacy plan and they wanted to understand how they can track their users who are between steps, right? So they wanted to focus on the onboarding funnel, and they wanted to see what their users were doing between signing up and purchasing. They wanted to basically understand what was happening in the middle and where were their users dropping off. On the legacy plan, you don't have that because that report is flows, right? So the flows report, it does exactly that, which is available on the online and the enterprise plan. And so what we did was I introduced them to the online and we looked at their MTU count. They were only tracking 10,000 MTUs. So obviously the enterprise plan wasn't necessary. The online plan did just that. And then an additional feature that they got access to was cohorts, because they wanted to understand the drop-offs and they wanted to be able to engage those users by putting them in a group and then sending them to one of our messaging partners in order to send out emails and message and engage them to get them back. Right. So this is exactly what they were able to do on the online plan and they weren't able to do on the legacy. Additionally, as you can see here, you also get access to unlimited data history, whereas in the legacy plan, it's limited to either 1 year, so 12 months, or 5 years maximum. Whereas the online plan and the enterprise plan, you get access to unlimited data history. Yes, I'm not fibbing. That's exactly what it is. You can have access unlimited, go back and back and back, however long you've been with Mixpanel. Additionally, you can access custom alerts, unlimited email digest, and unlimited people profiles, like I mentioned before. So for these features, there are additional features as well that you don't have on the legacy, but these features here are the main ones that I have been approached by customers who are wanting that they don't have on the legacy plan. So this is another reason why, if you're on the legacy plan, reach out, let us know. We want to help you. We want to move you to a better plan that gives you more possibilities. Next slide.
And now let's go back in time to where COVID started. I know it's like, we don't want all to think about that, but like for some companies was good and bad at the same time. So one of our most like beloved customers they do home delivery, like grocery delivery. So they will go and do groceries for you and just like bring them home. So what happened with COVID started, they had a massive spike, like they started growing like crazy. And one of the things that were scary for them was like, okay, what if this growth is not like, you know, persistent in time? What if it's just like a momentary growth and then we go back to the volumes that we had before? How is this plan going to adapt? How are we going to adapt to the Mixpanel plan? So one of the benefits of like working with an enterprise contract is what I mentioned before of having like a 12-month bucket. Like this allows you to just focus on the average rather than when you're going up or when you're going down. So for instance, in this case, if we look at the graph there, we see that there is a spike up around December, hitting almost 600,000 MTUs. So we should not focus on, oh my God, I'm gonna just like stay at 600,000. No, we should focus on the average. So for instance, when we see that in January, we go back to below 200, what we actually care about is like that purple line that explains or like calculates or shows what's the actual average. So with these, you can adapt to the different like, you know, seasonality that you have along the year, and you will be on the right plan every time. So we built the contract for our customer. We included tiers there to cover, you know, imagine, I mean, for them, it was like, yeah, we're going to keep growing, right? So we include those tiers on the contract as well to make sure that they had, during the entire time, visibility of the forecast on growth of MTUs, the forecast on the cost of Mixpanel, and this is also helping you having your CFO happy, as Jazz was mentioning before, and just like plan ahead of time, what's going to be the cost, what's going to be the MTUs, everything under control. So happy customer, happy Mixpanel, happy everyone.
Yay, happy everyone.
And yeah, Ash, do you want to speak a little bit about events versus MTUs?
You can go ahead.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I see what's happening here. So we talked before about events and we talk about MTUs. This is an option that we have on our enterprise plan only, the capability of choosing. So again, what is an event? Data points that represents amount of actions. So I log in your app, I do ABC, that will be the events that I'm doing. What is an MTU? I'm an MTU. I did ABC, and by doing actually just A, that will be my qualifying event, I count as an MTU. So what's the difference? Like, which one is better? It's not about which one is better, it's about how you're using Mixpanel, what is like the thing that you're getting the value out of. So we have like a very, you know, like self-explanatory table here that explains the difference between events and MTUs. So predictable, of course, MTUs are predictable. MTUs should be kind of aligned to what we will consider your monthly active user. If you're tracking anonymous, that might be a little bit of the difference there, but that would be the only point. With events, I mean, sometimes like, how can we know how many events someone is going to do with your app? Like, you know that the user is going to go there and do something. What they do, that's like kind of like the challenge there. And Ashley, you were speaking before about a ratio.
Yeah, so what I usually tell the customers is like, if you ask somebody how many actions their users will take in their product next month, 9 times out of 10, they'll have no idea what the answer is, right? But if you ask somebody how many users they'll have next month, you'll get a number. So this is why we say it's more predictable and more trackable, because with MTUs, you know how many users you have. With events, it's really hard to understand like how many events your users are triggering, you know?
Correct. But again, it's not like one is best than the other. Both of them work, depending on your needs. So trackable, scalable, both options. Yes, we can include tiers for events. We can include tiers for MTUs. You're tracking both. So you always have the visibility of your events at Mixpanel, and of course as well MTUs and people profiles. And
yeah.
then
this is something that's super important, because it really sets Mixpanel apart, that the fact that we are able to provide both options, events or MTUs. I mean, a lot of companies, they only offer events or MTUs. Actually, nobody does MTUs, but it's just nice that, you know, we are able to provide both. We are flexible. We are there to adapt to your needs. So that's the thing that we really want to focus on, is that we can do both.
Yes, exactly what Ashley said. And then align with value. events sometimes, what we mean is like, in the end, as a company, what you care about is your users, right? Like we always talk about monthly active users or daily or weekly. So you care about the people that are doing something with your app, your web, whatever you have. So this is why events sometimes is not actually like directly translated to what your like interest is. But again, this is something like, this is a conversation. If you're curious to know which one is best for me, just like reach out to us and we can put you in contact with someone that will help you and will assess what is the best plan. But yeah, that's like the basics of events versus MTUs.
Awesome. So I am back in the house to let you know how community can help, because we are here to help. There's going to be a number of programs that are going to walk you through some of those reports that you maybe don't have access to now, but you're a little bit tempted. As well as everything you have access to. You can find me and the rest of the community inside the Slack network on the forum, which you can search openly. So if you type in Mixpanel and your actual question, you're very, very likely to see that you're not the only person with that question and get an answer. We also have a calendar of events, including times like this, but we also do regular Q&A sessions where you can just bring any question and we show you the answer to that question. And then of course we have the product analytics course that we did in partnership with the product school, which really takes you from the very beginning of Mixpanel all the way through to implementation, setting up reports and dashboards and so on. So the moral of the story is that we are here for you. So
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Amazing. So thank you everyone for joining us thus far. We understand if you need to jump, we're going to dive straight into Q&A now.